DC here with Wrong the Strong, and people ask me how bad is Chicago, and here's the truth: it depends where you're standing, like citywide. Murders, shootings, they've always been normal in Chicago. It just depends on what side of town you're in. I grew up on the South Side, and by the time I was 17, I already had 4 gun cases. I mean, a lot of people are like, then how are you still out? I mean, I have the paperwork, I have the proof. The first gun case was an awful use of a weapon, a shooting. Got caught, went to prison, got slapped on the wrist, pretty much got a probation for about, I think, a year. And then a couple months later, I caught my second gun case, and that gave me a year. And then my third one, and they just kept letting me out, and I just kept, catching new gun cases. But what people don't realize is that Chicago is such a dangerous city that you have even people that we call them neutrons. They're neutral. They're not folks. They're not people. They're not from this gang, this neighborhood. They're nothing. When you have people that are neutrons having to carry guns to protect themselves, that's a problem. And that's what Chicago is. And don't get me wrong, Chicago is a beautiful city, man. Beautiful people. I love my city, man. I miss home. I miss home a lot. But I don't miss the feeling I get when I fly in and I'm there for a couple of days, because I know how dangerous it is over there. Like, by the time you're 18, 19, you're almost like a professional marksman. You're almost like a Navy SEAL. You're learning to dodge bullets, shoot bullets, run from bullets, run towards bullets. It's crazy, and then you take everything else that is pretty normal over there. They like to use really big vehicles over there to play like crash cars, like Mario Karts. Yeah, you heard me tell stories about it before. They don't mess around. Either they're crashing you on the side of the road and then lining you up. It's a war zone. Most people back in the day used to call it Chirac, because it is a war zone. And every day you wake up in the war zone, you have to battle for your life. Going to high school, my freshman year, I remember to this day, we went in a Riviera, 2-door Riviera, white door. Shorty, Malo was with me, Yoda. And we went to school, Gage Park. It's on 55th and Western. We went to school, the first day of school, being freshmen, in that car with 3 guns. That's what we went to school with, just so we could be ready. We had a 38, a Tech 9, and a little 22. But it was for us to feel safe to be able to go to school. No kid should have to bring a freaking gun to school to feel safe. That year when we started school at Gage Park, at the time, it was kind of like a mixture of Latin Kings, party people, 2-6. There were some Ambrose there, GDs, Vice Lords. It was kind of a mixture. So, fights were pretty normal. Shootings, they had metal detectors before you went into the school. It was bowdy. I tell people, it was hood. I went there, and then after there, I went to Morin East in Cicero. After Morin East, I went to Romeoville in the suburbs, and then Bolingbrook High School. I've been around the block, but even in the suburbs, it was really bad, because there's a lot of gangs there. There's a lot of bored kids. And guess what? I tell people this all the time. Bored kids are very, very easy to recruit into gangs. Bored kids, alone kids, kids that have been through trauma. These are all the kids that, end up being part of those little circles, part of organizations. They're obviously seeking something, right? Right now, I'm trying to expunge all my gun cases from my background, and it's been a little hard, man, because I picked up so many arrests throughout the years that it's been hard to try and like put everything together and clean up, because in different cities, different counties, just different places, and I've been fighting for it because I've been trying to get my passport so I could be able to go to Mexico. I got invited to a couple of places out there to go speak, and right now what's holding me back is my passport. And I know it's not the gun cases, I know it's the gun cases, the drug cases, the DUI cases, battery cases. I have a pretty long rap sheet. I can't sit here and like say, oh, the system's against me. No, I am lucky, I am blessed that I'm out free, not doing a life sentence, because I did make the same mistake over and over again. For some reason, I just got into a lot of gun shootouts, and most of those times, I know you guys won't believe me, but I was just trying to protect myself. I was always, all those times I got into shootings, it was when a lot of guys were trying to get me, and I had to fight back, protect myself. That's a story on its own. The city is surrounded by a gang culture, a gang shoot 'em up, Wild Wild West kind of style, lifestyle. And the music, the shows, all that stuff really doesn't help, because it kind of amps everything up. People actually want to become that. I remember when I first watched Scarface, and then I was like, yeah, that's where I want to be. And I went and I got him tattooed on me, and it was like, yeah, but you know what happens to Scarface at the end, right? Yeah. So it's why I do the work that I do, guys. It's why I spend the time that I spend at the studio, at the prisons, at the rehab centers, at the youth centers. Like, it's why I do what I do, because I know what it is for a kid to be out there by himself, alone, searching for identity, searching for a group, searching for just something to be part of. And that's why I do what I do. My name is JC. I am Wrong to Strong. And remember, you can impact any kid. It doesn't have to necessarily be your kid. You could tell a kid on the street, get your ass home. My name is JC. I am Wrong to Strong.